Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It is so nice to see all of y'all virtually, spiritually. I hope everybody's doing well. Checking in. Have you drank water today? Even if you have, let's drink some together right now. If you want to, everything here is an invitation, not a requirement. I'm farmer and forager Z Liberacion here in Indakina, unceded territories and lands of Montsi, Lenape, and Abenaki and other native folks who are alive and need our support. Inviting everyone to take a deep breath in and let it out. However feels best. Today I'm joining you to talk about Mullein, so-called Verbascum thapsus mullein, right? They're displaced from West Eurasia, because Europe and Asia is one big piece of land, right? So I'm going to refer to it here as Eurasia, so West Eurasia. Now this is some mullein that is already dry. It's been drying for 2 weeks. As you see, we harvested the whole plant, including leaf, stem, and root, right? So you can use all parts, but they're used for different things. You see how this one, it hasn't flowered yet, doesn't have any flowers. If you're harvesting for the healing properties of the root, you want to harvest like we do at our no-till organic community farm. You want to harvest in the spring before it gets too hot when they haven't flowered yet. Again, for the root. Or harvest in the fall after they flowered. Now, you can use the flowers, but again, this is if you want to use the root medicine. So mullein is really safe. That's one of the reasons that I love them. They help improve the stretch of our connective tissues, including tendons, ligaments, joints, the bladder, and the pelvic floor, y'all. So if you have pelvic floor misalignment, try to not call people dysfunctional, right? But misalignment, you can take this. It's going to break off the root. I'm going to take a clean and dry jar, and I'm going to, let me back up so you can see the jar. I'm going to break off little pieces, put it in the jar. And here what we're making is a root tincture. I already have some roots that are already broken up. They're washed and shaken off. And one of the reasons we tincture too is because we're going to tincture it in, you can do 2 bases, either alcohol, grain alcohol is great for roots, but use whatever you got. If you're someone who's like, I can't or won't or don't want to have alcohol, you can use apple cider vinegar. If you're not allergic, of course, You can use rice vinegar if you're allergic to apples. Oh, this one's hard to break. And I didn't bring my hammer. You can literally break these up like with a hammer on like a rubber safe surface. Y'all, please don't shatter your plates. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to pop them in the jar. Okay. They're in the jar. I have this other bigger plant that I harvested 2 weeks ago and dried. I'm going to take some freshly cleaned scissors, because like in between plants, you want to make sure you clean your scissors. Going to snip off little pieces, put them in the jar. I'm just going to keep doing that until I'm done. And I'm just going to thank the plant. I shake a thanks to the plant, Mullein, for giving healing that we're receiving. Giving thanks to Indakina, the land that holds and held these plants that we harvested in ceremony and with respect. It's really important that we give offerings when we harvest plants of song, dance, our hair, our nail clippings, even whatever you have. If you've harvested other plants, you know, just like you would give flowers to a friend or a lover or a loved one of any kind, giving people their flowers. Giving people their flowers. Mullein is alive. They have a life, right? You can see all the life in these roots, in these leaves, in these stems. The stems are actually extremely medicinal and supportive for prevention and can be a treatment tool for a lot of different cancers. And while I do this, I breathe. If that feels good and safe for you, look at all this root. And I'm going to take, again, just some grain alcohol. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just bring your love, your affection, your attention to the roots, and they'll give you healing in return. Oh. Oh, the roots are... It's another reason to harvest young. The roots are thinner and easier to cut. Yeah. thinner and easier to cut. All right, we are almost done with this root. Oh, wow. This big one, I'm just gonna break it off. As you get deeper in there, sometimes you just gotta break them off with your hand. Yeah. Taking some of the really dry leaves, and I'm gonna burn them. They're good to burn when facing heavy truths, when having to face the truth and deal with tough communication. Oh, when you're gonna have a tough conversation. It's a great time to burn you some mullein, and I'm not saying to smoke, just to burn in the air. In a safe container, you know, y'all, away from cloth. Welcome, welcome, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. We're here talking about mullein. We got some mullein leaves, dried, harvested in ceremony, in love. Gathering some to burn safely outside, away from anything that could catch on fire, in a container that is fire safe. This is about herbs and not fire safety, so I'm not going to go into that right now. But just know that that is something to be mindful of, right? Fire safety is really important. And we harvested a bunch of mullein, Verbascum thapsus, right? Trying to get all this. Working with herbs can be dirty because they, funny enough, grow in the dirt. Welcome in, welcome in. They grow in the dirt. So, what we've done so far. We took a mullein plant, we took the dry leaves. This has been washed, shaken, dried for 2 weeks in a place free of direct sunlight. And now we have the leaves that we can burn. Does anyone already know why we burn them? Because if you don't, that's totally okay. I'm here to share with you. They're a plant displaced from Eurasia, West Eurasia, right? Because Europe and Asia is just one big piece of land. This whole separation is like its own political thing that I'm not a part of or involved in. So this plant's healing can really help you when you're not really ready to deal with like pain or grief. You might literally be in denial of just like what's going on, what has to happen. what's going on and what has to happen in order for truth to have space, right? It helps soften our approach and improve our communication. Let me get all this dirt off of me. Goodness. Because even after you wash and shake it, there can still be a little bit of dirt. That's one of the reasons it's great that we tincture the root in grain alcohol and sift it with a fine strainer so you don't have to worry about drinking dirt. We put all these roots in this jar. We're going to take some grain alcohol. Pour that in there. Till that's fully submerged. So we're going to need a little bit more. I'm going to grab a towel because I need it. I'll be right back. And I'm back. I meant it when I said I'd be right back. Don't worry. I won't leave you. But yeah, Mullein has also been called, has anyone heard any other names? They've been called bunny ears. They've been called Jacob's staff. They've been called flannel flower. They've been called Aaron's rod and candlewick plant. All those names have like different lore in different communities, like their stories. That's not what we're going to tell today, but know that like whenever you come and get herbs from us from our no-till organic community farm, someone else gets what you got for free that needs it and can't afford it. A vulnerable person gets what they need. Real mutual aid, right? And they get the stories behind the plants, how to use them, and so do you. And it's such an incredible way for us all to connect with this amazing plant, Mullein, that we, submerge in grain alcohol. The roots, specifically, when we submerge the roots in grain alcohol, they're really helpful for our joints. Again, for our joints, for our connective tissue. Now, if you're using the dried leaves for smoking, folks native to the Abya, right, this part so-called United States, used this for processing that grief, for burning and emergency inhaling some for our lungs. Quakers used to rub them on their cheeks. So Mullein also has been called Quaker Rouge, which I think is really fun. You can also feed the leaves to cows so that for their lungs, so that they don't get a cough, because cows can get sick. They can get a cough, and you can feed them these Mullein leaves. And this is what they look like fresh. We harvested these yesterday. They're so beautiful. Look at them. Right before they flower. They're amazing. And then this is what they look like 2 weeks dry. Right? Out of direct sunlight. And then this is them, the roots in a tincture. Mullein is a biennial, so that means that it grows in a 2-year period. It grows and dies in a 2-year period. So it flowers in its second year. So for the root, you can harvest them in the first year and then all the way up in the second year until they flower, or after they flower and the flowers all go away and they're going to seed. Before they die, you can harvest the whole plant and use those roots. They're really amazing. What's awesome about them is they're like cooling. They're energetically sweet while also having an energetic bitterness, right? Duality, just like all of us. They're an astringent, so like they tighten the like tissues in our respiratory system. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Giving thanks to the mullein plant. Here they are, freshly harvested from yesterday before they flower. We use all parts. The root, the stem, we tincture. The leaves, I dry them. This is what they look like 2 weeks dry. For either feeding to cows for their lungs, making into tea for our lungs. They're so amazing. They're really helpful for like a cough that you're having, like spasms, like you can, all of that. They're really great, like cancer preventative. They have a lot of antioxidants. Like berries aren't the only plants that have antioxidants, right? They're soothing for our nervous system. They are a mild, like, diuretic, so you might want to have them in the daytime because they're flushing out the toxins in our lymph nodes, any swelling in our lymph nodes, like when you're sick. They're flushing all that out. And how does it come out? In our pee and our poo, right? They're really great for kids. It's a really, really safe herb. Now, the only thing is like the seeds are toxic, so you won't see me ever use the seeds. And for folks who are kind of light and airy, like you kind of live in the clouds, this might not be the herb for you to ingest, maybe just to smoke. And if you're someone who is struggling with any type of cancer, it can move it throughout the body. So you also just might want to use it externally. You can put if you're like, it's already flowering and I want to gather them. What do we do, right? The flowers you can infuse in like coconut oil, like organic coconut oil, and put just like a drop or two in your ear if you're having an earache. They're really great topically for cancer. So any part of the plant you can infuse in oil. And I teach like separate classes on that, and you can get like one-on-one herbalism training or like group training, or like come to a group class because I love to host classes. It's one of my favorite things because we all learn something, right? I have a relationship with these plants, and everyone, when they build their relationship with mullein or any other plant, like you have a different historic relationship with this plant, where they come from, West Eurasia, than I do, right? You have a different relationship with the plant than I do. Each individual mullein plant is, right, their own being, and building a relationship with them can be different. Even for individual mullein plants at different stages. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We're here talking about mullein, our nervous system healer, our lung healer. It helps soften and clear our communication, helps us face grief, helps us face the truth. It's so very soft. We harvested this yesterday. I don't know if you can hear this. Hear how soft and velvety they are. Earlier, we tinctured some root. It's going to be fully submerged. I'm going to add some more grain alcohol. Use whatever alcohol you got. Use apple cider vinegar. Use rice vinegar. Use whatever vinegar or alcohol is best for your body. If you are like, I don't do alcohol, do it with vinegar. We have alcohol-based tincture, but we also have apple cider based tincture and rice vinegar based tincture. It's really wonderful. You take the shaken and rinsed roots. You grab whatever you're tincturing them in. For me right now, it's some grain alcohol. Fully submerged. Egghead Fishbowl says, love Mullein. I've been taking a tincture of her recently. I get a lot of nightmares. She helps me understand my subconscious. From Lilia. Thank you for sharing, Lilia. Yeah, I've had similar experiences, just really helping me. A lot of my grief I process in my dreams. A lot of my fear I process in my dreams. And it really helps having some of this like midday. Not right before bed, because for me it can give me it can help open my mind, and that might be a bit much right before bed, but like, you know, like late afternoon. A little nice cup of tea. Again, not great to have if you're someone who is dealing with cancer. You might just want to do like a bundle, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now. Is a Mullein bundle for burning. Right? It for tea, it really helps like wet if you're having like a really dry cough, it helps coat all that tissue in your esophagus and your lungs. Look at this beautiful leaf. So I'm gonna hand pick off all the leaves. That's how we do everything here, by the way. It's done by hand. It's not done by a machine. It's not done by some external company. We do everything here. We gather everything no-till and organic. How do you feel? What do you feel like you've been able to understand from your subconscious the last time you communed with Mullein, Lilia, or Lilia? I'm from Panama, so don't mind me if I pronounce words a certain way. Boop. Boop. Let's see. Okay, and now I have this end piece, and I'm going to take off and dry. And then this stem here, I'm going to cut up, because the stem is actually the most potent anti-cancer part of Mullein. So if you get it right before it flowers, where it has a lot of stem, that's great. I'm going to grab another pair of scissors because those have a lot of dirt. So stay with me. I'm gonna have some dead nettle tincture in a little bit for my allergies. Let me drink some water. Ooh. It's also great for allergies, just literally drinking water. Staying hydrated. So yeah, we tinctured the stem and alcohol. As you see here, just cutting off little centimeter pieces. Okay. Into this little jar. I can see and speak the truth easier with Mullein, yes. I receive and hear that. That is what Lilia said. I can see and speak the truth easier with Mullein. Absolutely. Absolutely. Almost there. Woo, that stem is strong, especially when it's fresh. Woo. But the back of the scissors have a little sharp, they're a little sharper. It's another little trick. Ooh. Last piece. Got it. And that's what's left. The root, I'm going to put that aside with the bowl of dried leaves. And then the stem, I'm going to put a little bit of grain alcohol to fully submerge those stems. Fully submerged. Fully submerged. I'll put the lid on that. And I'm going to date it and label it. Let's see, where's my marker? Here you are. So I'm going to label it. Today is the 5th. So 7/5/26. And it's fresh Mullein stem. gr.alc.grain alcohol. And you can make your own shorthand or you can write it all out. Do whatever like will make you actually remember. Does anyone know the moon phase? Can anyone tell me the moon phase? Because that is helpful. I know we're coming out of a full moon. Forget what it's called. Waning? And also, like, have grace with yourself. I've been doing this for 12 years and I don't remember everything all the time. That's why we have notes, right? That's why we write things down, okay? That's why we have notes. That's why we write things down. And then I'm going to show you here how to make a mullein leaf bundle. So you're going to take your smallest leaves first, okay? You're going to take your smallest leaves first. Hold them together with one hand at the top. First quarter waning, that's what it was. How long do I keep tinctures for? I made a mullein tincture last spring, but not sure, but still good to use. Great question. If it's an alcohol tincture, it lasts for up to 10 years. If it's a vinegar tincture, it lasts for 1 year outside of the fridge, 3 years with refrigeration. I hear alcohol can last for 20 years with refrigeration, but it's like a lot of us who are herbalists, like we're also farmers, so we only have so much room in our fridge. So the alcohol tinctures, we're definitely going to use them before 10 years. We're not hoarding them, so we don't need to put them in the fridge. Now I will say, if you want to have like one emergency one of everything, like that's reasonable, but like, you know, medicine is to have, but also to share. Great question, Lilia. So we're making this bundle. You've seen I have the little leaves on the inside. Now I'm going to put the bigger leaves all around on the outside. Okay. Now with these last two leaves, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it around. Okay. And then I'm going to take the second leaf and just keep wrapping that around. Isn't that beautiful? And then I'm going to take some twine, some unbleached natural twine, and I'm going to take it and honestly, this kind of sticks to itself. I'm like, I don't think I need the twine. Yeah, this sticks to itself so well. I actually don't need the twine. Listen to the plant. Look how well that sticks together. I don't even need the twine. Nope. And I'm gonna, that beautiful bundle. Oh, we say thank you. Thank you, Mullein. Thank you. All right, y'all. So today I've shared an alcohol-based mullein root tincture that we're going to use for our joints, for our connective tissue, for our bone healing, for preventing cancer, for preventing lung issues, for healing lung issues, right? Look at them. Look at that. We made a mullein bundle to help us be ready to face our grief, our truth, our healing. Because that's not always easy, and sometimes we need help. I've shown you these dry leaves that we can make into tea, that that we can feed to cows for their lungs. All right. And I've showed you a mullein stem tincture that we can use to prevent and treat a lot of cancers and be a treatment tool of many tools. Yeah. So may you all be whole. May you all be well. If you want to get any of the things you've seen from us, go to our website in our bio. Thank you as well. Take care, neighbors.